7 victims are in a critical condition, with 6 in a serious condition and 10 people with minor injuries after a vehicle has driven into a crowd outside a nightclub on Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles. The accident occurred early morning and has left dozens of people injured. Firefighters responded quickly with 124 personnel on the scene, assisting in triage and transport. Authorities discovered a gunshot wound on one of the injured, possibly the driver. Police have cordoned off the area, but the cause and driver's identity still remain unknown. Meanwhile, investigations are ongoing. Captain Adam Vangerpen, Public Information Officer for the LA City Fire Department, described the chaotic scene. Let's have a listen.
This morning at 2 a.m. in Los Angeles, our firefighters were dispatched out to a traffic accident. On arrival, they found a large group of people standing outside of a club. There's a taco truck there, and apparently a vehicle had driven through the taco truck, through the valet, and into the crowd. So when our firefighters arrived on scene, they quickly called for additional resources. So we had a total of 124 firefighters were here on scene. There's about 25 LAPD officers that came out to assist us. So the scene when they arrived was very chaotic. Ultimately, there ended up being a total of 30 patients. So out of those 30 patients, 7 of them were critical, what we call immediate. 6 of them were delayed, and then another 10 were transported in minor condition. So out of that, we also had another 7 that were minor that signed out. So a total of 30.
Well, an extremely concerning situation. I must say that there is currently limited information, but we are joined by Ross Feingold, a political analyst who's joining us from Taipei, Taiwan, to dissect what we do know so far and potentially look forward. Ross, as always, thank you ever so much for taking the time to speak with us. LAPD police saying that this situation is fresh. It's still unknown whether it was intentional. Reports that we've had a car going into a taco stand and then hitting people that were standing outside of a nightclub. Speculation, of course, at this point is there. We will try to avoid that. But given the potential casualty list that we're seeing, at least of severely and critically injured, this is a dark night for LA.
Certainly, and the authorities are still on the scene. This is a very much still an unfolding story. You know, and as you indicated, when something like this happens in a large urban area, at a place where there's a large crowd, there's going to be a need to investigate whether or not this was an accident or an intentional ramming. Unfortunately, there's been so many intentional ramming events in Europe as well as in the United States and other places around the world that it's something that the authorities do have to investigate and ascertain what was the driver's motivations. Was it intentional? Was it an accident? If it was an accident, what caused the accident? Was it a health issue with the driver, or was it a mechanical issue with the vehicle?
Yes, absolutely. And Ross, of course, you alluded to those recent car ramming attacks that we've seen in Munich, nearby to the defence summit that was taking place there. Of course, also in New Orleans, at the start of the year, another car ramming attack. With a situation like this, with investigations still ongoing, how important is it that members of the public and people online wait for those investigations to take place before jumping to conclusions? Because this, let's be honest, can be a murky topic that could potentially have wider ramifications.
And that's a very good point. And a lot of the burden falls on public officials. It falls on the first responders, the police, the fire agencies, the emergency medical technicians who were first on the scene, the doctors at the trauma centers where the victims were sent, and of course the politicians. And the moment you start talking about politicians needing to take leadership in a situation like this, there's always going to be another politician who is quick to criticize. We're in such a highly partisan situation in the United States that partisan criticism, it happens, unfortunately, when there are situations like natural disasters, other types of accidents, or potentially even terrorist attacks like this. Again, we have to emphasize we don't know the cause of this incident. But no matter what the kind of incident is, when there's a mass casualty event in the United States, unfortunately, it does very quickly but often become partisan as well.
Yes, absolutely. Ross, you will be staying with us. And of course, here on NewsX World, we will continue to bring you all of the